Alright, I finally got the new lifters. I got it on eBay for 50 bucks for 12 of them. What I'm gonna do is put these new ones inside here. And these new ones. This is the exhaust ones, right? For this, and this is the intake. So I'm gonna take these, put new ones in here. Here's the old ones. And then put back the rod back in here and separate the rods that goes to the camshaft, and make sure that these guys lined up with the lifters right on top of here. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to do that. Installing and putting this together, the spring and the injectors. What I did is as I put the rod in here with the rockers in here, I have to push these in so that the rod here could fit in the groove in here, and also the same thing here. See how you can move this a little bit in there? You need to make sure that these are separated so the rod could fit in that spot there. And you got these bolts here with this little clip on top here that holds it's like a groove in there that holds the rod down too. And so same thing with all these other ones. See, I had to make sure as I put the rod down, I had to separate, make sure all it was separated. And this was the hardest one, but eventually it fitted right in there, and you could pretty much separate these guys. See, from the, make sure that it doesn't fit, fit all right. But anyway, I got it all done in there. Now I gotta torque it, and now when I buy it, I'll go rent the torque at the AutoZone. I have to torque this and the bolts that goes in here that it hooks up to the engine. So right now I'm gonna clean it off. So right now, so far, I got new rockers. Changed one of the valves that was messed up, the exhaust valve, and then I'm just gonna spray it on, clean it out, and then try to install it right now. So this is what I did so far. Got it back together. So I'll give you a little explanation about how I do it. Alright, painting the motor here, and just cover it with tape at the corner. But I took the part, there's a bracket back here I took apart and stuff. I gotta put that back together. But I took this apart here, the intake, just to clean the inside of that. Just because I already had it all out and stuff, might as well do it. Gasket go. I lost internet, so I kind of find out by that, but somehow I'm gonna have to find out because the gasket doesn't tell you which side is up. It's just kind of, there's a way of figuring it out. So I'm going to take all these plastic off and start working on the gasket, bringing it in here. So when I put the head, it'd be lined up to that. Alright, let's see, let me go ahead and take these apart and see if I could put it back together again. Okay, I got the gasket here, and then there's only one way to put it in here because of this little groove that's sticking out here, little piping, I guess, when you want to call it. And when you put that there, and then that groove right here where the bolt goes at, or I mean not the bolt, I guess air or something like that, I think, where it goes in there, so it lines up just perfect. And this is the way you put it on, just like this. Well, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tighten it as best as I can, and then I torque it. But right now I'm just going to put it together and then torque it later, so that it won't get off the alignment. So far, here's the bolt side here, as I took it out from 1, 2, and so that's ready, and I cleaned that out. Now I cleaned out the head, so I wanted to get dry with the brake cleaner that I just cleaned out with it, because some residue that I had in there. But yeah, it looks good so far. So let's see how it goes. I guess this is clean too right here for the gasket that belongs inside here. So I'll try to get that right now and see how that works for me too. I actually forgot, but these bolts in the tip of these, they had to be greased, a little bit of oil in here. I gotta take it out and dip it in oil a little bit and then put it in there, because when you torque it, it doesn't crank or skip or something like that. But by having a little bit of oil, it just grooved right inside there on the slot. That's what I was told. I think it makes sense on that part, because when you torque it really hard, there might be some skipping on the torque, you know, some clicking. So I don't know. It's my first time doing it, so I just know that that's what might happen. So I'm gonna take it out and dip it a little bit of oil, then put it back in there. So all right, I put it all together in there. I put the gasket, put it on top, tighten it as the way it's supposed to set up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is the way while you tighten sequence for this particular car. Actually, a lot of older cars are done this way. Okay, I didn't realize this till just now. I guess I wasn't looking at it before, but you see how this thing is cracked right here? Before I torque it down, I want to replace that right there. So I have to take these rockers and spring off one by one and put it in there. So these are not that hard to put back together back in the slot here, because there's only 4 of them, this was harder because I had to make sure these were close together to get in there. So pretty much gonna take this apart. So I'm glad that I'm not gonna torque it today, but maybe this weekend I'll be able to get the parts for it. So see, I think that one is kind of beat up here. The other one looks okay. They all are fine and stuff, but I guess I'd like to mention that it's good to replace it before, you know, issue come down the road on that part. Gasket for the intake here. Put it on right there. So I'm gonna try to put this back in there and then go under the car and screw it from the back, from the bottom of it. Some of it's bolts, some of them's nuts that I put back together, because this one's a bolt, this is a nut, and then bolt, and the bottom is nuts and bolts too, I guess. I gotta go check, but I got little bags and stuff that I put together. So alright, here's this one I want to show. This is the bracket. And you see that little hole right there goes inside that up here, that hole up there. Now if you can see it or not, but and that's the intake, which this bracket was installed against this motor right here, and that's the starter right there. So I gotta put that together as soon as I put the injectors, intake injectors, you know, back in there to the head. So I just kind of get an idea of what I was doing back here, and then I had to use the bolt, put my hand through here and put the bolts through the back side as I take this, when I took this apart. So now I gotta put it back together, but I'm gonna start from the very top first and slide it in there with the gasket there. But that's how it goes so far. All right, yeah, just a little work, but eventually you do it if you got plenty of time to do it. Okay, I put the bracket back. This right here, this bracket. Hooked it up there. It was funny because I was missing this one piece right here, which is connected to this bracket, and I was screwing these things in there, and it was too long. So I found this, which is the another connection to the bracket, which connects to the transmission here. Then I realized the bolts were able to go in there. So I had a little bit of time in trying to figure this one out, even though it was so simple. But there you go. There was a pin there that, let me see if I can show it to you. On the first video, right inside here is supposed to be a pin. I put oil in the pin, nice and greasy oil. Then I pushed this groove right on top of the pin so that when this harmonic balancer moves, the whole thing moves. Now, this pulley right here, I have to loosen that up so that it'll push this way. Cause see the spring right here, you see this spring right there? It's pushing that pulley that way. And so what happened when I loosened the belt, I pushed it all the way I pushed it this way and tighten it so I could take the belt out. Now I'm going to loosen it up, and it's going to put pressure to the belt going this way, and then you tighten it up so now the belt be nice and tight